So good morning, guys. My name is Charles, also a junior, and I'm here to teach you a thing or two about Python. First things first, you have to create an account on Replit, and then after creating an account, um, press New REPL and then Python. Let's just use Replit so that we have the same platform to code. Kuya, let's say Kuya, well, hey, create REPL. So we now have our online IDE. We can now code here at the same time run our code. Let me explain what this hashtag sign is. So this hashtag sign, because it's famous in the Philippines, we call it hashtag. Python will not read this. Whatever you type after the hashtag sign, Python will not read it. It will not execute whatever it is. So it does not see it as code. The first topic natin ngayon, we have three topics: variables, string, and lists. So I will compress it into a short video just for you to understand some concepts of Python. So let's start. Variables. So when talking about variables, if you have encountered another programming language, let's say C programming language, it has a different syntax. So if you have used the C programming language, it initializes a variable like this. So int x equals 45 and a semicolon. But in Python, we do not do that. In order for us to initialize a variable, we directly go to the point. The name of the variable, and then the value. So it's like this. For example, we have a variable name will. And then we have a value of 5,000. So the variable will has a value of 5,000. So to verify that if will has the value 5,000, ipiprint natin siya. So the way to do it in Python, print. And then we call the variable will. So what does will have? 5,000.
5,000?
You just press run and then we have 5,000. We have 5,000 as the output. So it's very easy in Python. But we can also initiate a string. This is an example of what strings are. So kuya will. So in layman's term, strings are basically just words, right? Let's just print this first if will has changed or if will has a different value. Okay, it's kuya well now. But strings are kind of different from what we know in the real world. The words, the letters. So it's like this. Change this as guapo. So when you have strings, imagine this. So we have boxes here. Imagine this, okay? So we have boxes represented by square brackets. We have the variable will here, which has the value of guapo, and guapo is here inside each box, and then each box has a label, and we call these labels index. These are used to track the positions of each string. We can say that G is at position 0, W is at position 1, and so on and so forth. So we now know that it has a position. What is the use of a position? Let's say if we just want to access the letter G, what do? It's easy in Python. We just put square brackets, and then what is the position of G? It's 0. And then we have it here. It's G. And you can have it as 1, so it's W. It's a very simple concept, strings. I just want to explain what strings are because maybe some of you have a difficulty grasping the concept of strings. This logic, the indexing, can be applied on a list. So what is a list? Let's have another variable. The variable name is chicks ni will. To initialize a list, we put square brackets. And then this list can be a collection of data. It can be integers or strings or another list. To make it simple, I will just put a number here, 12, 13, and then a string. Here we have a collection of data. We have two integers and then a string. Like I said earlier, this concept can be applied here. So we have three elements now. We call the data that is inside the list as elements. So we have three elements, 1, 2, 3. So the indexing here is ito ay 0, ito ay 1, at ito ay 2. So i-print natin ang 12. Let's not forget to change the variable that we need to print, chicks ni Will, at index 0. So we are printing chicks ni Will at index 0. So you can run this. It says 12. How about Wheel of Fortune? What index is this? 0, 1, 2. There you go, Wheel of Fortune. But you can print the list as well, and it will output all three of these. 12, 13, Wheel of Fortune. So it's a very convenient way for us as programmers to join an integer and a string in one list. So in other programming languages, we might call these arrays. So I have discussed to you about variables, strings, and lists. And this is just an introductory concept. This is just an introduction kung ano talaga ang Python at how it works and how straightforward it is as a programming language. I may make another tutorial regarding Python, so I'll see you in the next one.